See if the boogeyman is under the bed for true. And this is how we are, people. And when we, of course, activate the codes within us, we are actually taking off layers. They are layers. All this is layers, like this. And so we are often taught, oh, just to look on the surface, what's underneath. Sometimes it means how we go about this is exactly what we are exploring here. At first, you ever been in a position where you just at work and you feel tired, but you just can't wait to have a tea break? It just seemed to be a lifesaver at that time. Well, here we are, getting ready for another tea break. Okay, so we have been doing like daily vibrations. I am endeavoring to make these or to be able to post them earlier. So you could send me some vibes to get that done. And of course, as I say, if you are wanting to see more of this or there is anything else you'd like me to explore, of course, let's do that, yeah, because it's about the us shape. I just thought I would explore because I think the word there, and just to show how our language has got, this is how it is. Basically, it's like layers. This reminds me when I used to be in the clothing industry, and we used to call this knife plates. And as children, you do this, don't you? So if you wanted to fold this, and of course you fold and you fold, and we used to call this, as we say, knife plates. But you can actually have the whole thing folding as tiny as you can, or as you desire. And so we are often taught, oh, just to look on the surface here. But it actually means for us to see what's underneath. Sometimes it means that you have to, have like the boogeyman. See if the boogeyman is under the bed for true. You're told the stories, but you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. And while you're on the surface, take a little, a little look and see. And all this is still like this. But then you think, oh well, boogeyman, there's no boogeyman here. So you're able to actually see everything that's here. You're growing now. You are actually growing, and layers and layers and layers. And this is what it is, like a story, like a building, like a tower. This is why it said the tower, the Babylon fell. Of course, because it has to come crumble. You get to realize, hey, but there's nothing to. You throw this away and you build. You begin to build. And so this is what we are now becoming resourceful of, knowing what we are building. Before we get onto the daily vibration of the 7th of the 1st, 2022, I wanted to just give a little idea of the knife plates, if you like. This is why it's called knife, like you could cut it. And so in the word there, which we have been looking at, we also saw, I only came across it a couple days or yesterday, this is tree. And the tree of life is actually in here. The tree, of course, equals 3. And if we did do the numerical value for the word 3, we see we've got 2. And that's what the story is all about right here. Basically, the tree bears everything. The tree was that which had the fruit, which we are still trying to understand the taste of of the fruit, trying to identify what flavor is the fruit, what color was it, what texture was it. We are still trying to work out, what constitute that fruit through life, because of course we ask, we think, is he responsible, is her responsible, here or there or air. So we have time, we have location, we have people, we have all kinds in here. So I just thought I would give this as an example of showing how much, this is the letters, when we have the 26 letters, which equals God actually. 26, 2 plus 6 is 8. When we add this, we see from this how many words we can get out of this. So many words we can get out of there, which is 5 letters. Then we have 4, 5, 6, 6 and 3, 9, and 3, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 letters. Now, I have showed the power of 16. This is actually like 1. When we do the numerical value for the word 1, it equals ONE equals 16. Let's just take this off so you can see the magic unfold. 16. This is why it is said you are the one, because you have won. And ONE, OWN, 10, 15, 16. This is it. You're the one. You've owned your position in the universe. So that's it. 1, 1, and like new. Okay. Let's look at, let there be light. And there was light in what we are doing, in what we are thinking, our direction. Speaking of direction, I think direction is going to be the word of the day. I would like to implement like a word of the day with this, and I'm working on this. So perhaps it'd be good for me to implement the vibration of the day. For instance, the vibration or numerical vibration, as in the 7th of the 1st 2022. Of course, it is Friday, Friday. It would be good to put it in order. Let's try, because today is my day of order, because I've been looking at the number 7. So let's put it this way, Friday. A lot has been put into helping us understand order. So Friday, and it is the 7th of the 1st 2022. Okay, now having said that, not everything people have put in certain order that was, perhaps it was meant to be, but now we are about to break in some, breaking the law of silence, where they have told you, oh, you shouldn't say this, or, now it's about breaking that law to have new sets of rules, orders, implementations, whatever it is in, order. Speaking of order, let's look at the word order. I meant to do that before starting. So it's like the or or the duh. Okay. All right. So that's 14, 18, 19, 27, 33. Oh, 33 is 6. So like Genesis. Oh, that's a new one on me. Okay. So, well, there we are. So this is order. 33. Let there be light is free, and there was light is free. So we've got things in order. That's what we call about synchronicity. Okay, so let's just add this up. First of all, let's do Friday, which is 6. 6, it begins with that number of impregnation, 99417. Now I'm wanting to like just count quickly, so bear with me here. So this is 22 and 8, which is 30, 36. So 3 plus 6 is 9. So they are birthing newness, birthing. So 9. Okay, so whatever you do today, if you like, is that it will birth after, it'll just keep birthing. And also, I think it's like really the knife plate, you could say, this is going to be like 8. So if you add 9 and 9 together, then you have 18, which is also 1 plus 8 is 9. So it's going to have the same face, the same kind of value in some way, unless you want something different. Let's look at that. So that's about birthing. The child comes out of the womb at 9 months, and of course, 9 months. Okay. So 7. So we have understood Friday. So it's like you're frying, really. Okay. Adding 1 is 8 and 6 is 14. So we have 8. So 6, 1, we add this together, and 7. Oh, so it's 14. I was correct. So 6 plus 1, 7, 7, 14. 14. So we are talking about Eve, Christ, and all the fives that I often speak of a lot. It's the home, it is the house, it is the chamber, it is all of those things that 14 is. Most importantly, the gods are saying, how can you forget? Most importantly, it's the 14 gods that you are the embodiment of. It is the 14 that Christ came from the lineage of generations of 14. We have all these 14s we have been speaking on, where we learn of Christ coming from the lineage of 14 generations and so on, or generations of 14. It's not 14 generation, it's generations of 14. I think it makes a difference somehow, because it's actually like 4, because it's like from Babylon onto David and to Abraham and onto Christ. So it would be like there's 14 in each generation, something like that. But basically the number 14 is here now, is basically it's about getting us to understand who we are. This is what it's about, giving us the symbols, giving us the signs, because in Genesis of chapter 1 verse, I think it is 14 actually. Let's just do this, where we are reminded that yes, it's verse 14, and God said, let there be light. This is the light. So it is showing us that we are the light. When Jesus says you are the light of the world, of course light equals 11. So you are, and the heavens, the lights were meant to be there for signs and seasons and for days and years. And that's why it is like important that we observe, if you like, the signs and seasons. This is why we have been able to learn so much about where we come from, what is, because the record have been kept in that way. Okay, so let's look at, of course, we can correlate all of this with the story of Christ. But what has happened is that we have been taught to look up to one entity, forgetting that we are of this entity, forgetting that actually you are exactly in that sphere. It's like an axon, if you like, or when you look at the neurons and all the branches. This is why Jesus says, I am the tree, you are the branches. There are no branches without a trunk, without this, without that. And you'll find that you are still of the same substance. So don't we see this in agriculture? You can cut a branch of certain trees, you put it in water for a while, and you replant it or something, or you just put it in the soil after cutting. I mean, sugar cane, I know this for sure. You cut it at a certain knot. This is why it is said, thou shalt not. Okay, we won't go into this right now, but this is really something. So you cut where the knot is and you put it in the ground, and you have the same thing. It's the same substance. It brings you after its kind. And so this is what we need to kind of understand, that all of this, the same seed that Christ is that you are the same seed. You just need to come to the realization that you are. You are. The word are equals 15. That's what you are. 1 plus 5, 6. 6 is Genesis. 6 is person. 6 is people. 6 is believe, and so on. In that vibration, in the invisible vibration, you believe. You have to, this is the invisible, the energy. This is the vibes. Now let's look at so we have seen that the overall number here for this is 14. Now, as I say, okay, I was going to do something, but I'm learning and practicing what actually the gods are guiding me to do. Now, they're actually saying, like, if it was Eve, because Eve is actually clothed in that way, they're actually saying that Eve can actually show us another layer of the knife plate, another layer of what is under the skirt, so to speak. So by doing that, for instance, we would do 5, 4, 5. And this is 14 as we know, but we would do 1, O-N-E. This is what I'm being taught to do, but only when it is clothed. It's like, that's why the lady, she's covered, or is meant to be covered, whatever it is. So we have 7. This is 16. We know 16 can birth and birth and birth after its kind. And 4, F-O-U-R, is actually 13, which is 4. So of course, adding this together gives us 11. So here we can see, for instance, how 11, basically, Eve birthed 11, or Eve birthed 2. So when it is said like Adam bore, Eve, or, whatever, we could say there was this again. Before this 1, 1, we would do the same. So basically, it doesn't make sense even doing Eve that way, because we have 1, 1 again, because on 1, 1, you also gives us 7, and 1, 1, 7 comes to 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. So Eve is implicitly 5. Or we can see how creation or created came into being. Or 1 plus 1 is 2. So we can see how there were 2 creations in Eve. Okay, so this is just a little something to just, so here we can say this is the 14 gods right here. The 14 gods on this 7th. Now, isn't it amazing? Because this is the 7th day of the year. And I have been talking about there are 2 creations. And the gods are really making their presence felt. It's like saying, here, you are now coming into the next creation. This is what the gods are actually saying, because they actually have showed us in this 1, 1 that there is the seed of 2 creations. 7 plus 7, 14, and of course 1 plus 4 is 5, which is the house. That the house which you are the house. You encapsulate the 14 gods. Now I've just showed that you are number 6, but of course, as in 5, F-I-V-E, you actually come to the same 24 as in 2 plus 4 is 6, like Genesis. We can see how that magic happens. But let's take a closer look at the number 7. We know again that 7 is the saw God. That's the God that saw, S-A-W, and God saw. And God saw that it was good. And God saw that it was good. That's the humor that's happened in this language. But not only that, because it is a numerical construct, we need to understand that. So we speak and communicate on different levels. We speak on numbers and letters. So all of this constitute both. So is that seesaw. Remember that seesaw? Every child knows the game seesaw. It's like it's in our makeup to learn this. So it's 1, this is 10, 11. This is 11, And of course, so is 7. Adding this together gives 9. 9. You come out of 9 months. 9 gives us 24, which is also 6. Okay, so here we are seeing that this gives us the total of newness, birthing. And so we are birthing a new thing, you could say, with this 14 that we are talking about. Okay, let's go on to the soul god. The soul god. It's like SA, like that reminds me of Sarah hair. The SA, this actually, it's like, okay, we know it's the serpent, it's in the first letter of the alphabet, and it's W. So it's like there's a message, although we know that Jesus, is the one, you are the one, you and I, double the two, and so on. But we have W here, which is 5, and so this is 7. Gives us, so the soul god, which comes in the fourth position of the 14 gods, again, is telling us about foundation. It's like there was a cutting. There's the soul god at the 4th position. There is a foundation. That soul god built a foundation of 6 days, and on the 7th day God rested. Of course, there was another creation. So we can see the number 7. I made a few notes here. Is that we have 7. This is where you have your left and your right. Your feet a shape, your leg is like a 7, your elbow like a 7, whatever it is that you can see on you as a 7, wherever you have a cutoff point from your nose to your mouth, your eyes to whatever. This is actually saying that there's something silver. It's like a knife, like an axe. You can see that. So the symbol itself teaches us a lot about, you can cut, you can rake, you can do this with 7. So this is where it's saying that if there is something silver, that means there's more than one. So the number 1, of course, is 7. Then we have 2 creations, which is also another 7. So ignited souls, what do you think? Looking at the word heart and looking at the word earth, is there correlation? And could heart and earth be synonymous with the 2 serpents? And more specifically, the 14 verbatim gods. You are 7. You and that's why you have W, because you equals 7, but you are W. This symbol here is actually, this is actually 2, is a short symbol of representing you and your double, you and I. Basically, that's what it is here. The W is actually saying that's you and I. Okay, now of course we did you and I, which equals, I think we had this in uni when I did the word uni, or like universe, you and I, which is 3, 5, 9. 3, 5, 9. This is 14, 15, 16, 17, which shows that we are like this. This is you and I by the 2 knots. Okay, and for universe. And there was something else actually. This is 9, 5, 3. Yeah, that's correct. So you and I. And so when I did you and I, which is also 9, 1, 7, this is also 17. The very same thing. The very same numbers, you and I. So that is what we that double is. So each letter has in it more letters, if you like. So when we say W, for instance, or it's like you, Y, because double is 2 of something, U is 7, another U equals 7. Adding this together, 7 plus 7 is 14, and 1 plus 4 is 5. Now, W has the numerical value of 5. W is the numerical value of 5. Okay, so, and I even think that the word double, double, might be, oh, what's happening here? Telling me my battery is low. Okay. Okay, and that's why even the word double actually equals 23, which is 5. So basically, it's like on dangling down. Okay, so it's like 23. This is where we have again the 23 pairs of chromosomes. So all of this, which is life, and the word life actually equals 23. So we can see how things are like compressed, and that is why I like to remind you that you are made of codes. Of course, that by reading, writing, and speaking, whatever it is, engaging your senses and movement and action, you are reverberating and activating those senses. So it's important that you choose or become conscious of how you are actually activating those codes. And the purpose for this as well, as I continue to say, is to cultivate the art of self-love by knowing yourself. This is what you are asked to know thyself. What we're here to do is to know who we are, but not just know that let there be light. If it says let there be light, it's like light is speaking of itself to say let, like you and I are able to say let us go and do this, let us do that. That's what we have actually. That's who we are. We are now expressing or being expressions of who we are. So learning this. Okay. So the word saw, and we know, like in the scripture, perhaps the number 7 is one of the most spoken numbers. There were 7 seals, like in Revelation, for instance, which is 4. Like, this is why a lot of people are talking about the rapture and everything like that. Or Revelation itself has equals 4, as I say. So, or like Christ, of course, fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, or the ocean, the flood of Moses. All these 4s were foundation of for the 7s building on. So we hear of the 7 trumpets, the 7 angels, the 7 churches, the 7 seals, the 7, I think the 7 horns, 7 dreams, and all of those things. Just like we have again in Hinduism, you have the 7 what are they called? The 7 negative gods and the 7 positive gods, however you want to put them. That also just means it's like your 2 sevens together. I done a video on Biden and Trump because I thought this was so hilarious. In a way, you could say that the gods have been showing us the signs and seasons that Trump, and it's no wonder there's still arguments on this. This is the 2 gods represented there. Trump equals 725 and Biden equals 725. Of course, 2 plus 5 is 7. They represent the 14 gods. Now you may be asking which is even better or worse or whatever it is. Again, there are levels. There are levels, just like we are learning. So we are in kindergarten stage now. You could say for many of us, we are just now learning to how to sit or how to be in this 5th dimension. And so Trump and Biden, if you like, were representations of that. Now on even the dates, the 20th, the word 20 equals 8. So that is saying that they actually set a template, for this new creation, and in that sphere or in that dimension, for the third dimension, because the gods got levels of dimensions in there. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and share, and stay ignited.